three fine supporting sponsors here on the Gardener's Corner program. Our special guest today is the horticultural agent for Person and Granville counties. If you would, please make welcome Mr. Johnny Coley. Good morning, Johnny.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, Rob. Good morning.
Glad to have you with us.
Well, thank
Johnny,
you,
if you can, work your microphone in a little bit closer to you, because I'm sure you'll be giving out a lot more valuable information than I will today. So.
Well, I don't know about that. But
Anyway, I'm going to pose a question to Kilby kind of on air, and I just thought about it. Kilby, last week, somehow or another, you had us live on Facebook or a video of us on Facebook?
I just put a link to our webpage.
A link, okay.
Yeah.
So, if later on, if you want to watch the program, if you're unable to see it now and you're listening to it on the radio, you can go to radioroxburgh.com, or on the Facebook page, you can find a link to our website, radioroxburgh.com. And also, if you're on Facebook, we would appreciate you going to the WKRX page and liking it. And Kilby's always putting little news feeds and different things, announcements on it. So, anyway, kind of moving on. And Johnny, a beautiful day outside, but it's cold.
From the inside, it's pretty outside.
That's
Once
right.
you step out that door, the
You
wind
don't want to
sort of
spend
hits
too
you.
much time out there. You sure
Yeah,
don't.
that wind is just hard to. I always tell people I can put on enough clothes to get warm when it gets cold, but that wind that negates everything.
That
it's hard
wind will cut through you.
It will.
Hey, I want to go ahead and make mention of something. And coming up on next Wednesday, February the 7th, it's going to be a beginning farmers workshop at the Person County Cooperative Extension Office. And the actual deadline to register was this past Wednesday. And when I say the deadline, you can still register, but it will cost you a little bit more money. But if you are someone that is wanting to start a farm, maybe you have inherited some property or bought some property, and you want to start up a little farming operation, it would be an excellent workshop for you to attend. It's being sponsored by the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, and it will actually be next Wednesday, February 7th, 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Person County Office Building Auditorium, 304 South Morgan Street. For more information, just contact Kim Woods or any of the friendly representative of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service at the Person County office by calling 336-599-1195. Again, 336-599-1195. And again, you can still register, but it costs you about $10 more to register later.
Yeah, which is still a good deal, really, right?
Absolutely.
This is an all-day program that we've been putting together for quite a while. Kim sort of spearheaded it, but it's a cooperative. As the name Cooperative Extension says, it is a cooperative effort. Mr. Westfall, Paul Westfall will be speaking, Gary Cross, myself, and Kim, and then we have some other people coming in from different departments of agriculture, and it really is. It's not going to be an all-inclusive as far as detail, but it's going to give you a good overview of a lot of things and give you a lot of good contacts and a lot of places to start. To look for information and find information that you might be looking for to get you further along in the process of starting a farm. It's like I said, it's tailored to beginning farmers. I'm not saying that if you've been in farming for a while that you won't pick up some nuggets there, but it is. That's where it's tailored to, is the beginning farmer. And like you said, it is right now going to cost you a little extra, but it's only $10 more, and $35 a person now, and $50 if two people come from the same farm. It's still only $50, so that still gets you back down to the $25 a person.
And lunch is included.
Lunch is included. There's a lot of handouts, a lot of information that you'll receive by coming. So well worth the money if you've applied or taken any classes at any kind of school lately. This is a deal. This is still a good deal for.
It really is, and it may be some retirees out there that's retired from their profession that wants to get into maybe some type of farming, whether it's fruit and vegetables, or they may want to, start up something different. And just to mention some of the topics that they will address: terminology and jeopardy, good land, cheap, basic crop needs, basic livestock needs, grants, food safety, what can go wrong, I need a big tractor, call a vet, and what a lender wants to know. So it would be a really good idea for you to attend this. Again, 336-599-1195, and that again is next Wednesday, February 7th. I also want to make mention, coming up next Friday, February the 9th, we're taking the show on the road. We're going to be broadcasting live from the Granville County Livestock Center. The arena is located on Kennedy Mill Road in Oxford. And next Friday, the 9th, they will be having the annual Tested Bull Sale. This sale was to be held back in December, but they had to delay it, but it will be held next Friday, February 9th. The sale will start at 12 noon. For more information, you can call either Person or Granville County's Cooperative Extension Service offices. 336-599-1195 is Person County. 919-603-1350 is the Granville County office. They can send you a more or less sale sheet of the bulls that are going to be up for sale. I think it's 50 plus bulls, and these bulls have been at the State Farm in Butner the last several months or so, and they performed several different tests on them. And for someone that is wanting to add quality stock to their herd, this bull sale would be a good place to check out. And also, you can log on to ebharris.com, ebharris.com. He is the auctioneer that is going to be handling the auction of the tested bulls.
Yeah, that's a good sale. I mean, of course, E.B. Harris always puts on a good sale.
Yeah. Are you going down and purchase a bull for the farm, Johnny?
Well, I don't think so. We did purchase one 2 or 3 years ago from that sale, and he's been a very good bull. We have Herefords, and there's not a lot of Herefords there this time. I don't know, 3 to 5. I can't remember exactly. I looked at the brochure, but probably not in the market right now for another one. But but definitely a good sale, and like I said, that bull that we got from there has performed very well for us. And when we do decide to get another one, we'll definitely look there to see what they have available from that year. Usually it is in December, as you mentioned. Usually the Friday before Christmas, I believe, is normally when they have that sale. But had some issues this year and had to delay it. But it is a very good sale, and like I said, Mr. Harris always puts on a good auction, a good sale.
That he does. Myself and Kim Woods, good Lord willing, will be there next week, and we're hoping to interview EB and several other folks, maybe somebody from the Cattlemen's Association. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Hey, want to let you know that February is Heart Health Month, and it's going to be a lunch and learn, and it's heart to heart, and they invite you to come celebrate February at the Cooperative Extension Service office. It's the American Heart Month. And this lunch and learn will be Wednesday, February 21st, 12 noon until 1 p.m. at 304 South Morgan Street. Topics to be covered will be heart disease, healthy living, cook smart recipes, and what can I do. It's a cost of $5 to attend the lunch and learn, but your lunch will be provided along with a lot of wonderful information. You can contact Jennifer Grable by calling 336-599-1195, and your $5 registration fee will have to be paid on Friday before that Wednesday, and I think that will be the 16th. So go ahead and get that taken care of. And one other thing I want to make mention of before Johnny and myself jump with both feet right in to the topics at hand today. The Central Piedmont Junior Livestock Show and Sale typically takes place at the Central Carolina Holstein Barn up in Hillsboro, up on Orange Grove Road. Well, the Person County 4-H will be hosting an interest meeting for all youth that are interested in and planning to show at the Central Piedmont Junior Livestock Show and Sale. Anyway, they ask that you RSVP by contacting Michelle Van Ness or Kim Woods by Friday, February the 9th. This meeting will be Monday, February the 12th at 6 o'clock, and any and all youth 4-H participants and 4-H members are welcome to attend this meeting, and it will be held at the Person County Cooperative Extension Service office. But again, that meeting date again will be Monday, February the 12th at 6 p.m. And you can contact Kim Woods or Michelle Van Ness by calling 336-599-1195, or you can email Michelle at Michelle_Vaness at ncsu.edu, or email Kim Woods at Kim_Woods at ncsu.edu. Again, 336-599-1195 for more information on that. Well, Johnny, here it is, February.
I don't know how it got to be February. January flew by.
It really did, and I know that a lot of people are ready for the weather to get warm. And now, yesterday was a fairly warm day. It was a little bit windy, but it was a nice day.
Yes, it was.
But I know people are ready to get out and start maybe pruning trees, because typically for most trees and plants, it's recommended to prune in late February, early March. And the reason that it is recommended that you wait until late February, early March, when you prune trees and or plants, what you're doing is more or less starting that plant into the mode of regrowth. And if you prune too early, if it's still a lot of cold weather, that can cause some damage. Correct, Johnny?
Well, you still can have some damage if you do it too early. I'll take roses for an example. I like to prune roses twice. It's not that I like to be cut up twice by the rose thorns, but it's the you take them down a little bit in the fall just to get them where they're not quite as unsightly during the. I mean, as pretty as roses are in the spring and summer, wintertime when they lose all the leaves, they're not the most attractive plants.
Right.
You look at it, it looks like a briar bush over there, but you take it down, a little bit. If it gets up 6 feet, 5 or 6 feet tall, you can take it back down to 3 or 4 feet for the winter and the fall. But then late February, early March, when the buds start to break a little bit, you can take it on back to 2 feet or so from the ground. You can cut it back a little further. So if you cut it back, and especially roses, they can get a little winter damage on them. And so you're pruning that off. And so if you prune them back too early, and we get another cold snap, and you have to prune them again from that cold damage. So that can occur. I mean, some things are not as susceptible to the cold injury that others are. But typically we think about it, starting about the middle of February, we start talking about pruning trees and shrubs, especially the fruit trees. We if you have any major pruning to do, you want to do it when the plant is dormant. It's just easier on the plant. There's lots of plants that you can prune in the summertime, but you have more disease and insects out in the summertime than you do in the winter. So if you have to do any heavy pruning, usually recommend it to do that when the plant is dormant. And a lot of times we have to sacrifice blooms. That's what I tell people when they start doing their pruning is know your plant. Know your plant. Know when it's blooming. If that's what you're growing the plant for, is for the blooms, you don't want to prune the blooms off, because some plants grow blooms or put out blooms on this year's growth, meaning the growth that they put on this year. Crepe myrtles, butterfly bushes are examples. Roses are an example of that. Whatever they grow this year, they'll bloom on. Some plants, though, are going to bloom on last year's growth. Azaleas are an example. Some of the viburnums, Hydrangea is another one that blooms on, although they do have some hydrangeas now that bloom on both this year and last year, and some azaleas that bloom on this year and last year. So there are some exceptions. Forsythia, or the yellow bell, that a lot of people have in their yard, bloom on last year's growth. So if you prune them back hard now, you're going to prune some of your blooms off. So just know when your bloom cycle is when you start pruning too heavily. Now, if you've got azaleas that really need to be cut back, you got some that are up 6 or 8 feet tall, and you want to cut them back down to 3 or 4 feet. Now, starting in, I'd say, in the middle to the end of February. Gracious, get my months right here. February is the time to start doing that. While they're dormant, they're just not as susceptible to the insects and diseases that they would be later on as it warms up. So, but in talking about that, we have a couple of seminars coming up for pruning. I've got one not tomorrow, Saturday, but a week from tomorrow. Over in Granville County, we'll have one on 6639 Horner Siding Road.
Okay, well, Johnny, I took a piece of it. I thought this was a copy, but that is the information for the Granville
County. Yep.
And I have the information for Person County. Yep. My apologies.
No, that's fine.
I thought this was a copy that you had brought for me.
We've got both, and so we've got one coming up in. And I can give you this one before I leave. But we've got one coming up next weekend in Granville County. Then on February 24th, we'll have another pruning seminar in Hurdle Mills, 91 Daisy Lane, Hurdle Mills, North Carolina, for the Person County group. But come to either one. You don't have to. There's nothing against that county line that's not going to cause you to cross it. So if you can't come on the 10th, feel free to come to the one on the 24th. If you see you got something on the 24th, come to the one on the 10th. We're gonna. It's about a 2 hour.
Don't let the county line be a barrier.
No. Don't let it.
Now again, next Saturday, February 10th, it'll be at 6639 Horner Siding Road in Oxford. Now, is that at the home of K. Stark?
That is Mr. Stark's.
And again, it will be from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. It will be no charge. And again, it is a pruning demonstration, a pruning seminar. It is not, let's butcher the trees and plants up as much as we can.
Yeah.
And, one thing that is kind of good to do, that whenever you're pruning, always practice safety first. It's a good idea to wear safety glasses, gloves, and to have something, a shirt or a coat on with sleeves. And also, if you're going to be up on a ladder, have someone to help make the ladder sturdy for you. And the reason that we stress safety, because in many times when you're up on a ladder, you may try to reach too far rather than climbing down the ladder and repositioning the ladder. Yeah. You may try to reach too far. So try to be safe. And another thing, when you're pruning, it's a good idea to have safety glasses on, because it could be very easily for one of these twigs or limbs or something to fall and stick something in your eye.
If you're pruning above you, the shavings, the sawdust can come back in your eyes. And another thing, if you're pruning above your head, remember that thing that we learned somewhere in grade school. Isaac Newton, I think, discovered it: gravity. Because every time you cut a limb above you, it's going to fall. The bigger it is, the harder it's going to hurt. So the worse it's going to hurt. So you just need to remember when you cut those, if you're using a pole saw or something and you're cutting above your head, just give plenty of room for that tree or that limb to fall. And not on you.
And when you're pruning, you're pruning for the welfare of the plant and or tree, whatever it is you're pruning. But also, you prune to try to improve the looks of that tree or plant. So don't be in no real big hurry. Take your time. After you do a little bit of pruning, take a few steps back and maybe have a sip of water or something. But just to kind of give it an overview, say, well, I think I need to trim this side back a little bit more, because it's really easy to get involved in the moment sometimes, and before you know it, you may have done butchered the tree and or plant rather than pruning.
Yeah, it's easier to cut more off than it is to put it back on. That's for sure. You can graft. I mean, there are grafting techniques that you can get plants to reset the bloom or reset the twigs or branches, but it's an art to do, and it's not very easily done. So, yeah, you do want to sort of take a look at it, as you say, and we'll cover some different techniques and the different pruning tools that you use. A lot of people like to bring out the chainsaw when they start pruning, and that's not always the best tool to use. If you're depending on what you're pruning, I usually use the chainsaw for stump pruning. When I want to make a tree a stump, I'll break out the chainsaw. But other than that, pruning saw, some hand clippers, some hand pruners, and maybe some loppers is really all you need to prune. And we'll cover the technique that is really swept the nation, should I say, or swept the area where crepe myrtles are concerned. We'll teach you not to crepe murder your crepe myrtles, because a lot of people do that. And I've actually, Rob, I've seen in the last year, last 2 or 3 years actually, have seen crepe myrtles that have been pruned very severely year after year after year are finally dying. They're finally giving up. They just saying, "Uncle,
I'm tired of fighting the battle. I'm just going to give in and surrender."
Yeah. And I've taken some pictures around different areas that I've noticed over the years. They've done it year after year. They just keep pruning it back heavy, and it eventually does take a toll on the plant. And they're beginning to for some places there, I've seen them dying from that. So you just need to be aware of what you're pruning. Like I said, know what you're pruning, know when it's going to bloom. Also, don't want to prune too heavily, but prune enough. I mean, because a lot of times with, especially fruit trees, probably people don't prune enough. They try to, they want fruit on your tree, so you don't want to prune too much of it off, and you're not going to have a producing tree. But the plant does need air, needs sunlight. The fruit's going to need sunlight in order to mature, so you really need to open some of those trees up. But we'll go over what to look for in a tree. Some of the things you can, the 4 Ds: disease, dying, dead, and damaged. Those 4 Ds you can take out anytime. That's a definite. That's what you start with. Maybe start with those to get your confidence up on pruning, because a lot of times people need a little of that confidence and
assurance.
Yeah. They wanna be assured. So you can start with those 4 Ds and get those out, and then a lot of times that opens up that you can see other areas that need to be pruned. So, but actually I'm teaming up with Mr. Paul McKenzie from Vance and Warren County on this.
Well, good.
Those people from Vance and Warren County will be coming out too. So we hope to get a good turnout to both, the one in Person County and the one in Granville County. Hopefully it'll be a pretty day, and it's a rain or shine event. If it snows, we may delay it. We actually had one when I was working at the nursery. We usually had a pruning seminar each year, and it snowed on the day that we had it planned, and we still had it. We didn't have a lot of people there, but we did still have it because we didn't have a snow date. But.
Well, again, the Granville County Pruning Seminar will be Saturday, February the 10th at 6639 Hornaciding Road in Oxford, 10 a.m. until 12 noon. It's no charge for the pruning seminar, but if you want to call ahead to let them know you'll be there, 919-603-1350. And then the pruning seminar demonstration for Person County will be Saturday, February the 24th at 91 Daisy Lane in Hurdle Mills from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And it will be free, no charge. Just when attending, any snacks or drinks that you may want, you need to bring them with you. They will not be provided. Also, you may want to wear some comfortable shoes and
Yeah,
dressed
and
for the weather.
bring your pruners, bring your hand pruners. Don't bring your chainsaws or your maybe your pruning saws, but bring your pruners. We'll be doing some hands-on demonstrations there. So bring your hand pruners, that you feel comfortable with, and just come on and we'll have a good demonstrations. All questions will be welcomed. And if we don't know the answers to them, we'll find them out and get back to you with them. So.
All right. Well, look, we need to get a word on for one of our sponsors, T.G. Brooks Company, in business in Timberlake since 1936. Whether it's ice melt, snow sleds, mulch, plumbing supplies, the list goes on. Hand-cut ribeyes. Go see them at T.G. Brooks Company.
Even though the calendar says it's February, we all know that spring 2018 is not far behind. There's plenty of time now to come to T.G. Brooks Company and get some sound advice for your lawn preparation coming up soon. They've had so much experience, and why not let the professionals work with you on your spring lawn and garden planning? They serve homeowners all over Person County and surrounding counties. They'll tell you all about the advantages of pre-emergent weed control or weed and feed. You want to be sure to perk up your lawn with fertilizer, lime, and weed control to get your lawn off to a proper spring start this year. To beautify your flower garden and shrubs around your home, they carry hardwood as well as dyed mulches, and they'll sell it by the scoop or by the bag. They feature all the popular lawn and garden chemicals and treatments, insecticides, herbicides, and they always carry soils like topsoil, bulk planting soil, potting soil, cow manure, and pine needles to make your place look really sharp. They have the equipment for sale or rent like spreaders, power pluggers, and lots of lawn and garden tools, and of course wheelbarrows. And before you know it, it'll be March. They'll have all your flower garden and vegetables soon, and your garden supplies. When it comes to beautification, come in today to talk over your plans at T.G. Brooks Company. Taylor wood stoves, they have those too. They have your water heater elements, thermostats, pressure relief valves, and while you're there, be sure to get some Pride dog food and cedar shavings for the dog for these cold nights. And be sure to get some hand-cut ribeyes. Surprise your family with delicious steaks prepared on your grill. And don't forget about hoop cheese. Person County and surrounding area count on T.G. Brooks Company, serving homeowners, farming, and construction workers since 1936. Phone anytime at 364-2428.
All righty, here we are back on the Gardener's Corner program. Our special guest today is Johnny Coley of the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. Johnny is the horticultural agent for Person and Granville counties. Hey, want to make mention, coming up on Saturday, February the 17th, it's going to be a horse coggins and vaccination clinic at 1303 Old Allensville Road. It will be from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Again, that's 1303 Old Allensville Road in Roxborough. The time again, 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Coggins will be $25. Also, other vaccinations will be available. And if you have a dog or cat in need of vaccination for them, they will be available as well. Just we ask that dogs are kept on leashes and cats are in more or less cages or containers. But we'll keep you reminded of that. And I know it's several different Coggins clinics going on down in Granville County there at Southern States. And I actually sent some information and a request for information in, but I have not received that information.
Yeah.
Johnny, do you know any of the particulars?
I cannot remember
anything?
the dates. I cannot. I know Paul's got some lined up, and I apologize. I don't.
Well, that's all right.
The dates right now, but check the website. Check the Granville County Cooperative Extension website, and they are posted on there, and I'll let you know the dates and the time.
Right, and also the ones in Granville County, if I'm not mistaken, they will be having them on Saturdays, but they will also have one on Friday. But one thing that they do ask, if you call 919-603-1350, and they will tell you the dates and times of the Coggins clinics there in Granville County, and they kind of like to assign times for you to show up. And the reason that they do that, hosting it at Southern States of Oxford, they do not have a tremendously big parking lot, and so they just don't want all these horse trailers and trucks, because a lot of these trucks and trailers take up a lot of space. So they kind of like to give you have an idea or set up an appointment time for you to get there, so they won't keep the parking lot jam packed full, because Southern States will be open at that time, and customers need to get in and out of the lot as well.
And it's better for the person bringing the horse too, so they don't have to wait as long.
That's right.
Have an appointment and come and go.
Now the one that will be on February 17th in Roxborough at 1303 Old Allensville Road, it's 11-1, and it's pretty much a free for all. Got plenty of parking room, and just be patient. If you get there and there's several folks in front of you, just take your time to make some new friends, or maybe see some of your old friends. But again, for more information on the Coggins clinics in Granville County, 919-603-1350. And for information on the Coggins Clinic in Roxborough, you can call 336-503-7183. And also, if you call the Extension office in Person County, maybe they'll have some information on that coming up next week. I'll try to get them some information on the Roxborough Clinic. But anyway, kind of moving on, we're talking about pruning trees and plants. And again, a free pruning seminar will be in Oxford coming up next Saturday, February the 10th, at 6639 Hornisiding Road, 10 a.m. until 12 noon. And then the pruning demonstration will be here in Person County on Saturday, February the 24th at 91 Daisy Lane. And is that at the home of Ken Medlin?
Ken Medlin, Mr. and Mrs. Ken Medlin has been gracious enough to let us come down there. He's got several, he's got quite a few grapevines, and he's got apple trees. He had some peach trees, but he gave up on his peach trees. He finally got disgusted with them and cut them down. I think this year they were not producing enough on a consistent basis. But he's got some blackberries, blueberries. So we'll be pruning. He also has some ornamentals in his yard. Last year we pruned on a crepe myrtle that he had there in his yard. We'll see how it turned out this year. And
so you didn't murder the crepe myrtle?
We didn't murder the crepe myrtle. It did come back out. So it's
well, look, let's get a word on for our Pride Foods, and we'll come back. Our kind of more or less TV camera operator, our engineer, he wears many hats of many different things, and he is just running around all this place with lots to do. So let's get this commercial on for our Pride Foods.
Goodness grows in North Carolina. Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip is made in Roxborough. You can pick up some to enjoy at T.G. Brooks Company, Twins Market, Hurdle Mills Market and Butcher Shop, North Main IGA, Food Lion, Supply Line Discounts in South Boston, Virginia, Kenyon's Meat Market in Mebane, and Bacon's Meat Market in Hillsboro. Or you can enjoy it at Cole's Pharmacy, Trish's Espresso, and the Clarksville Station. Whether you're having our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip for a snack or a meal, it's delicious. Our Pride Premium Pimento Cheese Spread and Dip is made by Our Pride Foods in Roxborough. Pick up some and enjoy it today. For extra flavor, try the jalapeno added. That's Our Pride premium pimento cheese spread and dip.
We always have a good time when we are here on the Gardener's Corner program. Johnny Coley is here with us today and talking about a lot of things. Johnny, when you was just made mention of peach trees, is it getting close to time when you're going to have to treat peach trees and more or less stone fruit trees for the peach tree borer?
That's usually a fall.
So it's something you do in the
application.
fall,
Yeah, 'cause they
okay.
actually enter the tree in the fall. Trying to remember the dates, probably middle of August to the middle of September.
Okay,
time
well,
frame.
I think
you
I'm
spray the
pretty sure
trunk.
you're right. But just when
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
something about peach trees a while ago,
Yeah.
it made me think about it. And matter of fact, last night I had some peaches that my mother had put in the freezer, and you take them out and let them thaw up a little bit, and whether they're completely thawed or not, but I actually like to have them they're still partially
Little
frozen.
crystals of ice
they,
on it, yep.
yeah,
It's
they're
good.
real good. They sure are.
They are.
Um,
But it will be time pretty soon once they start blooming, when they start cracking bloom, because you spray the peaches. It is a fruit that you really do have to keep on top of as far as spraying in order to get a good crop of them. And when they start budding, when they open up, and then it I think it's 3 or 4 times, depending on the time that they're blooming, is what you go by as far as the pruning schedule. So it will be time pretty soon to start doing that.
Well, Johnny, when you go in, the supermarket and different places, and you see these picture perfect fruits, whether it's apples, peaches, you look at them and you say, wow, why can't I grow anything that is this big and this pretty? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, these orchard farmers, they are persistent. I mean, it is a daily chore. They are constantly in the orchard looking to see what's going on. They're constantly spraying fungicides and different things like that. And so it's a lot of work, and it's the same way whenever you plant a vegetable garden. You necessarily don't have to go to the garden every day, but you need to be in your garden every couple of 3 days anyway, and you need to take time to look it over. And a lot of times when you catch something in its more or less beginning stage, you can go ahead and take care of it. But it's a lot of things, once the problem is started, it's too late to correct it.
And that's very true with diseases. Insects, usually you see them, you can treat them. It's really, there are some proactive measures for some of the insects, but primarily you can, as long as you're scouting fairly regularly, like you say, every 2 or 3 days, and you catch them early. But for the diseases, a lot of times you have to be proactive, because it's more of a, I tell people fungicide should be called fungistat rather than fungicide, because once the plant gets the fungus, it's very hard to control it. You really have to keep it from contracting, from the disease to starting in the first place. So.
Well, and looking at apples, a lot of times you'll see apples with little blemishes and different things on them. It's some type of fungus that has gotten on them, which, although it's safe to eat that apple, but it's just not, as pretty as maybe you would like to have.
Well, I always tell people, there's only one thing worse than finding a worm in your apple, and that's a half a worm in your apple.
That's right. That's
exactly
right. Also, something else we'll make mention of, here in the Piedmont where we're located, we stand a pretty good chance of frost on up until somewhere around April 15th, and then after April 15th we have a slight chance of frost. Well, if maybe you're wanting to maybe start your own tomato plants from seeds, you may want to start some other vegetable plants from seed. It's too early right now to start doing that, but what you could do is look around and find the supplies that you need. And the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service, they have a publication on how to, start plants indoors, starting plants from seeds. And one thing you need is a cool white fluorescent light, and your light needs to be to where it can be raised and lowered. But a lot of good information is free for the asking. All you have to do is request it from your local Cooperative Extension Service office. If you're there in person, they can hand you a hard copy of it. Or if you prefer, and it's pretty neat, when they email the information to you, you've got it saved on your computer for the future to refer back to. And maybe you're thinking about wanting to build your own greenhouse. They have a wonderful publication about that.
Yeah, and you say it's a little too early, but really for the cold crops, we really do need to start thinking about it, because normally from seed to getting that plant big enough to set out in the garden, you're looking at about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the conditions that they're grown in.
Yeah, well, Johnny, I wasn't thinking about the cold crops. I was thinking about like homegrown tomatoes and
peppers
and stuff like that.
But the cold crop, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, a lot of those are started from seed and then they're transplanted into the garden. And, by the middle of March, you can start putting those out if they've been hardened off, to a point that they can be set out then, because they'll tolerate a frost. It gets down into the low 20s, especially if they're young. They're not going to tolerate it. Most cold crops will handle 20 degrees if they're hardy, if they've hardened off enough. But usually in the spring, we don't have to deal with that as much as we do in the winter or the fall, when you plant the fall cold crops. But you're looking at, you plant them now, and you put the calendar on 6 weeks out. It's middle of March. It's hard to believe that, but that's where we are.
And one other thing that you may, if you're one that likes to roll the dice and take a chance and plant things early, if you don't already have some type of cover for your plants after you plant them, interfacing works good. But we would discourage from using just typical plastic, because when you lay plastic on plants, it can do damage to them when it freezes. Correct, John?
That is right. If you can keep the plastic up off the plant, it's fine. Realizing that plastic is going to heat up quite a bit faster. I had a friend of mine one time that grew some sweet potato transplants, some slips, sweet potato slips, and he was growing them, and he's doing them early, so he's growing them under plastic. And one day he forgot to take that plastic off. He had a sort of a hoop frame. He had a frame so it's not sitting on the plants, because, like you say, the plants can be damaged through that plastic if you have it laying on the plant. So you want to get it up off the plant. But one day, he forgot to take it off, and it cooked them. It can be a day like we have out there today. It's as cool as it is, and the
radiating
wind,
through that plastic.
sun makes a difference. I know in the greenhouse, it would be days, 30-degree days. If that sun was out, it'd be 120 in the greenhouse. If the fan wasn't on, so
have to raise the curtain, open the door, or something.
Sun really makes a difference. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're starting them, if you're going to do them under plastic. But if you want to put them out there early, you can cover them up with some type of row cover or a sheet. A sheet works real well for covering up, protect them, because usually it's just a couple of nights that you have to do that. If it gets down below freezing, because some people like to get their tomatoes out 1st of April.
That's right.
I've always sort of been the one. My dad always said, you plant tomatoes 1st of April, you can plant on the 1st of May, you're going to have tomatoes
at the same time. That's right. I was going to ask you to make that statement. I sure was. Hey, let's get a word on for Sandling Golf Cars, and we'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Gardener's Corner program. We appreciate you all tuning in, and hope everybody's doing well. We head down to 613 Lewis Street and stop in at Sandling Golf Cars.
If you're in need of a golf car, whether it's Club Car, Easy Go, or Yamaha, head on down to Sandling Golf Cars, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. They also have utility trailers, equipment trailers, also dump trailers. If you're wanting a Wilmington grill, They've got the charcoal, propane, and the fire pit grill available by Wilmington at Sandling Golf Cart, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. Call 919-693-4626 or toll free 1-800-221-9267. Sandling Golf Cart is open for business Monday through Friday until 5, Saturdays until 1. Log on to sandlinggolfcars.com. Al, Hillary, and Will there to serve you for all of your parts, service, and repairs. See Dennis and Bradley at Sandling Golf Cart, 613 Lewis Street in Oxford.
Alrighty, here we are back on the Gardeners Corner program. Johnny, I'm going to turn it over to you because you've got several things coming up that our listening audience would like to find out more information about.
Well, I just wanted to mention a few other things. We've mentioned several things that are coming up in extension. The pruning seminars, of course. We also have a landscape professional workshop over in Granville County. And this is another collaborative effort with Granville, Warren, Vance, and Franklin County. All 5 counties coming together to do this landscape professional workshop. And it'll be February 21st over at the Granville County Expo Center in Oxford. It'll be from 8:30 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. And if you're a landscape professional, you'll be able to get 3 hours worth of pesticide credits if you have categories L, D, N, or X. L is what most commercial landscapers would have. And you can also get 4 landscape contractor continuing education units, 3 of those in technical and 1 in business. So it's a lot of information. We're going to talk about diagnostics of plants, lawn issues, common landscape disease and insect problems, and trailer safety. So it's going to be a lot of information that day. So if you're a landscape professional, or if you just want to know more about these particular things, there is a $5 charge for this. Lunch will be included, but there is a $5 charge up until February 16th. After February 16th, there'll be a $10 charge per person. So it's going to be a good program. It's first year we've done this particular program, but hope to be able to build on it in the future. But if you are a landscape professional, just keep that on mind. February 21st, and it's more information on the website for Granville County and Person County website. So visit those. A couple other things I've got coming up is pesticide license. This seems to be the season for pesticide license for people to get credits for that. Got a V training coming up if you're a private applicator and need a V training. That's February 15th, 3 to 5 there at the Person County Extension Office. And then over on February 19th, which is a Monday, February 19th, from 6 to 8, we'll have pesticide license for L, D, H, N, O, and X. So that's 6 letters there, the alphabet. L is what most commercial landscapers need, and then X. So if you go to the V and then on that Thursday, and then come Monday to the other one, if you have a private applicators, that'll take care of your 2 hours of credit that you need for your V and your X if you have a private applicator's license. So that's just some classes that we've got coming up. I don't know how much time we got left there.
Well, we're back to